Yes, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Charles Moulton speaking, and thank you for tuning in to today's video. I am not sure that I can record a video every day. My schedule won't allow it, but now I had two rehearsals in a row at one concert, today, where I have rather little to do. So I'm taking the time to practice and do some stuff. And I thought I would record another video because I really feel that I do have a lot to say. And I love sort of transmitting and exporting what I believe in to other people and inspiring other people. I mean, after all, that's what I do in my teaching. And everything comes together when I teach interpretation and voice, because I do with my students teach first the vocal stuff with breathing and speaking and mouth and everything, and then once we go to the songs, I tend to not only get into the technical part of singing, but also to the point where interpretation comes along, and about emotional memory, emotional sense memory, and about being in the moment, which all sounds very sort of how they would say in German Fachsprache. It sounds sort of la-di-da, but what I'm actually talking about is not the technique. I'm talking about the radiance. The thing that I spoke about yesterday in my video yesterday, radiance, charisma, and emotion, and the energy we have. And we come back to energy, and everything is energy. Everything is energy. God is energy. And I'm talking about the emotional, spiritual energy. Because we all have emotions. Even atheists have emotions. Everything is about God. And everything, the center of everything is emotion and that emotional energy. And we all know that we see an artist on stage. I said that yesterday. We see an artist on stage and we see that output, that charisma. And today in my 10-minute video, I don't know if I'll get up to 10 minutes, but today I would like to speak about love. And what love is. You know, people have spoke about love for millennia, always, and probably always will, in art, in ballet, in opera, in rock and roll. And it all comes from the creative will to feel and express what that is. And that's the center of everything. A colleague of mine said he only believes that there are two core emotions, love and fear. That's all. Love and fear. Those two emotions. And all the other emotions under them are sort of subcategories. And you can't really categorize love. You can't say, well, it's just love, marital love, or physical love. There are so many kinds of love, but the core emotion is the same. We have not only marital and spiritual love, we have love for art, or a love for a friend, or a love for your vocation, or love of nature, and love of God, love of being out and you know, going on your bicycle through nature, love of being with friends, and you be the judge what other kinds of love there are. And yesterday I spoke about taking control of your own spirituality, you know, and people look for God somewhere else. They look at, you know, they say, oh, God is that, why is God not listening? Well, God is always with you because your spirit is God. Your spirit is the soul you have, your being. I mean, anybody is more than a body. And your spirit, that wonderful energy you have, the conscious energy you have, that is a direct link to God. And that's why God is always with you, beyond religion. And his language is love. Neil Donald Walsh said, God has a very limited vocabulary. And that might sound rude, but his word is yes. And he will help you any way he can. But you're the one that has to make the decision. And if you love anything, that's the first step to victory, if you love anything. And the second thing is the Bible. There are so many holy books and so many ways to express God. But the Bible says, I don't want to get too religious, because I believe that religion is just a medium toward God. God is that, above this world, and religion is just a part of the infrastructure, the social infrastructure of this world to reach the higher electrons, the higher particles that Michio Kaku talks about. And that's in your emotions, your being, your spiritual energy that is with you now as you listen to this, and will be with you when you leave for the next world, And that spiritual energy is you. And anything you do, you take it with you. And that is the core of everything, the absolute essence of your existence. And if you love anything, because hate will always pull you towards something. Whatever emotion you have, you will pull yourself towards what you think about. If you really hate someone or you don't like someone, you're thinking, oh God, he's such a bastard and everything. The more you say that, the more that person takes control of you. So if you really want to let go, if you really want to win over someone, you got to love them. And I mean, Jesus knew that, because he had a lot of people who hated him. And, he said, love your neighbor, love your enemies. And if they ask you to walk, a mile with them, walk 2 miles with them. Now, that was figuratively speaking. That doesn't mean that anyone that comes to you, you have to say yes, because no is also an important word. But the thing is, if you love someone and forgive those who in the past have done things to you that are not good, if you forgive them, they don't have control over you anymore. Just letting them go. Or they can come if they want. They can come back and they'll notice. I've had people tell me, I had a misunderstanding with someone, and a really big misunderstanding. And in my mind, I embraced them, which actually what you do is you just pour out that energy. And I'm sure that Michio Kaku, the theoretical physicist that is aiming to prove that there are higher particles that signify this spiritual energy that we send out through our emotions, if we prove that, we can prove that this works, because when you embrace someone in your mind, you're actually sending out energy that embraces, that reaches them. The next day, that guy came and smiled to his former enemy, and everything was fine. So it begins with your thought. That's actually all it is. Love really does heal anything. And next time, we're going to be speaking about trying to manifest things that happen. And a lot of people are talking about this. I know that. A lot of people are talking about this, but it's something that's truth. But it's, and that's why I say a nun, a friend of mine, a very diligent and friendly nun, she said the atheists are actually the biggest believers, you know. That is also true. You know, everybody is a spirit. Even those who don't believe in God, everybody is a spirit because they're conscious energy. I mean, they haven't found God yet. So that was all for today. My 10 minutes of spiritual discussion for this day is up. And I hope that you'll tune in. I'll say what all my speaker colleagues are saying, you know, hit the like button and try to spread the word of spiritual truth, and that you are a spirit, you are conscious energy, you are not just a body and organs and, you know, blood. You are conscious energy. You're a living being living in a body. And love is the only answer. So, good night, sleep well, and take care of yourself. And I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.